Good evening. I'm Fox 11 meteorologist Audrey Leigh. This weekend, we're talking about likely the first flakes of the season arriving. That's going to be our next weather maker. So, this is definitely the few key points we need to get through, just starting off right off the bat. This is not a snowstorm. We're just going to be seeing some snowflakes. So, what we're going to be looking at is likely the roads staying clear, very minimal, little accumulations, if anything. Keep in mind the ground is also not cold enough to really hold much accumulation. So, likely any accumulations is going to be on grassy surfaces. And you don't need to run out and buy any bread or milk for this weekend by any means. But keep in mind, Northeast Wisconsin definitely not going to be buried. Again, if anything, accumulations mainly staying up north. So definitely those three key points with the snow system. So really just looking at our first flakes of the season, not a snowstorm. Very little accumulations going to happen with this. So talking about right now for this evening, just before 7 o'clock on Friday, you can definitely see some snow in areas of the UP and parts of northern Wisconsin, mainly because of Lake Superior. You kind of have some of that lake effect. We had some rain here a little bit ago, just south of Greenbay. That's moving over Lake Michigan as of right now. So, a bit of a closer look at some of those snow showers. Again, Lake Superior bringing in that northern wind. When you get that cold wind moving over the warmer lake, you start triggering some of that precipitation, causing that lake effect snow. And that's what areas of the upper peninsula are starting to see. And maybe even northern parts of the state could see some of those flakes later tonight. At least not here in northeast Wisconsin. That's when we're going to see tomorrow on Saturday. Coming from an Alberta Clipper system, it's just a fancy word for a low pressure system with a cold front coming in from Canada in simple terms. But that cold front's going to try to push in some colder air for tomorrow, and we're really going to see those temperatures drop this weekend. What we're seeing is precipitation already developing off of that. You can see right over just north of Bismarck and areas of Canada, seeing some of those snow showers. That's what's going to track in with that low pressure system as it gets a little bit closer. Here's that timeline as we get through tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, starting off pretty good. We're looking at cloud cover increasing throughout the daytime on Saturday. Notice some snow showers developing in the southwest parts of the state. Not to worry too much here in northeast Wisconsin for the most part, right around 1, 2 o'clock. Also, keep in mind that precipitation, mainly rain over Lake Michigan, early afternoon. Now, watch as we get into the early evening hours. A lot of that starts mixing over from rain to snow right along the shoreline, moving from south to north, impacting areas right along Lake Shore, along Lake Michigan. So we could see some flakes here in Green Bay, even all the way up in Door County, could see some accumulations. And this is starting off to our south in areas such as Milwaukee and Manitowoc. We're seeing that lake effect snow. So we have that northeast wind, and that's allowing for that lake effect snow to occur. This is likely going to occur into Sunday. So again, seeing some flakes on a Saturday, likely in the afternoon and evening. Accumulations, if anything, along the lake shore, but it should not impact any road conditions. We'll see some flurries fly here in Green Bay, maybe Appleton and Oshkosh area. But notice as we get into Sunday, we'll still see some additional snow showers, mainly isolated snow showers occurring at times. That's going to be on and off. So isolated means that they're not so much scattered, but they're so far in between. We're seeing some snowflakes falling, but not everyone is going to see it. So again, some very minimal accumulations with that, and that it could even continue into Monday as well, just because of our winds. You get that northeast wind, especially here in northeast Wisconsin. You start kind of seeing some of that lake effect snow, and even up north and near Lake Superior, they start seeing some of that lake effect snow from Lake Superior as well. So as I said, accumulations, I'm not worried about that. If we're accumulating anything, it's really going to be on grassy surfaces. I'm not worried about any road conditions. Keep in mind, the roads are not cold enough to hold much accumulations. If anything, maybe just along the lake shore here, along Lake Michigan, they might see just under an inch, if anything, but I'm really thinking it's going to be on grassy surfaces, even up in Door County towards Washington Island. They could see some of the impacts, I would say, even in Death's Door area from Lake Superior, seeing additional accumulations, but I'm not expecting impacts locally. It's just tomorrow afternoon, even by Sunday, you might be like, oh, it's snowing. So that's kind of what we're looking at for this weekend. Here's a look at the weekend forecast. Partly sunny skies on Saturday. We'll see those clouds increasing as we get into the afternoon. A high of 39. So keep in mind that Alberta Clipper system pushing in that colder weather. We go from a high of 39 on Saturday to 35 for a high by a Sunday. That's afternoon highs. That's not overnight temperatures. Overnight temperatures even colder, right around the mid 20s. Then we also got to talk about, in addition to the snow, it's going to be quite windy this weekend as well. Here's what we're looking at as we get into tomorrow in terms of wind chills. Wind chills tomorrow on Saturday, Not too bad. Going to feel pretty much like those afternoon temperatures right around the mid 30s. Once we get into Sunday, we're talking about stronger wind gusts up to about 30 miles per hour for the most part. When you get those temperatures low enough and you start seeing even the lightest wind, you kind of start getting those wind chills. And now we're going to be looking at wind chills possibly in the teens as early as Sunday morning. During the afternoon on Sunday, expecting wind chills mid 20s, so about 10 degrees colder than what actual air temperatures will read. So that's going to be for Sunday afternoon. Watch as we get into Monday. Monday morning, likely looking at those mid teens for that real feel Monday morning. Then keep in mind, Monday night, we're looking at the home Packers game at Lambeau Field. So if you're headed out for the Packers game, definitely wear gloves and a hat and that heavier coat on because it's definitely going to be a little bit chilly right around 6, 7 o'clock. We're looking at wind chills right around the mid 20s. So looking at a lot going on the next few days, colder temperatures and also seeing a bit of snow accumulations in the area. But keep in mind, not expecting too much impacts from that. If anything, you're going to step outside and see a little bit of snow falling. But definitely have a good weekend. I'm Fox 11 meteorologist Audrey Leigh. See you later.